How's it going, Bladesters? Work to provide you specifications you can relate to. So if you're looking for things like the weight that it takes to pull a knife out of your pocket, deployment weight, even behind the edge thickness, check in with the channel, watch all the way through. And if you are interested in that, consider subscribing to the channel as well, so I know that I'm going in the right direction for the channel. So thank you very much to the folks that are already a part of the channel. And that's one thing I wanted to ask all of you folks as far as what is it that you folks are wanting. So not $1 million, so I'm not going to give that to you. If you want to give that to me, I'll give it back to you as far as the interest rate payment back. But for the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which is coming up soon, getting closer to about the 1,800 mark. So we're getting closer to that. So thank you again very much to everybody that's a part of it. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel so you can be a part of that giveaway as well. But today we're going to be looking at one from Hogue. So there's the Hogue knife here. So there's the X1 Microflip. One thing about the knife, it is a button lock, but the button lock itself, it's kind of missing one of the things that I really enjoy about a button lock is the fully fall shut. So it does have it where it does close, but they also do have their detent. So it actually will close all the way there. And then it has a really snappy action when it opens up, but it just is missing a little bit as far as that actual action that shuts all the way. So I can try this. I did this a little bit to try and get it to close all the way. Might not get it the first try. We'll try it again and again until I get it. But you can close it one-handed, like so. So if that's what you're looking at, consider subscribing to the channel. Also, let's get into it. As you can see in the background, I do need to upgrade as far as what I have on the wall, because right now I have nothing on the wall. So I'm going to consider about doing a green screen set up for it, but I'm not really too sure how that's going to work. So that's kind of a new thing for it, but I might give that a try. So I do have the new lighting, so let me know as far as what it looks like as far as this goes, because before I used to have a kind of a screen, basically almost like not a shadow box, but something that would actually diffuse the light around it. And then now I'm trying to do it without the screen, so it actually makes it a lot easier because I don't have a wall that goes around me, so I can actually reach for things, be a little bit more free with things as well. But this is going to be a knife we're looking at here. There's one from Hogue. There's the X1 Microflip. So that is one that is a manual, but it does have that detent, and it kind of acts like an assist in a sense. So it's not going to be like a full assist like the Kershaw Leak, but because this one actually goes into assist mode page by about half. That's where that spring starts to actually take over. So this is one that you're not going to really ever be able to fail, because once you break it, it's going to actually open up on you. So you can actually still fail the other one because it's a manual, but it still does have a little bit of a feel for an assist mode. So you can actually still get that to fail. But it does flip very well. So that's one thing that's really good about it. But some of the things that are possibly not good, I touched on it a little bit in the intro, is it is a button lock, but it kind of loses some of the actual button lock thing that I like about it. So this one's a different price point, but like the Medford for the Smooth Criminal is going to be one where you can actually utilize the button to actually open up and close the knife. That's with most button locks. The CRKT has the deadbolt, and that one actually is kind of has the same type of issue where you can't actually do that with it. But that's one thing that I do like about the button lock, is being able to do the full fall shut. So this one has a really low detent for it. So that's one thing that's good about the Hogue, is going to be one that will deploy really, really reliably. But that's one thing there. So that's going to be that one. So that one's going to be the Medford. This is going to be the Leak. We're at number 2. You have the CRKT. This one's the LCK. So that one actually is breaking down over time, so that actually does have the phosphorus brown washers. So that's one thing that's nice about it, but also kind of a downside, because you do have to fidget with it quite a bit to get it to work how you would actually like it. So getting into some of the things that are kind of probably not the most ideal also. So overall, I really enjoy the knife. There's certain things that I think could improve a little bit on. So one of the things is going to be the lubricant that comes with it. So they could just not give you lubricant with the knife. But they have a setup with Lucas oil. So their gun oil comes in this little packet, has the logo on it for Hogue. But this is one thing that At least for me, I'll have maybe a one-time use of that because I'm not going to be probably keeping this. So that's kind of a downside. So if they could actually get into a little bottle, so this is actually one that's similar to the KPL bottle. I think it's actually probably from the same producers because it actually has the same tip. This one is one that you can get from Amazon, at least that's where I got it from. And this is where you would utilize for like a vape refill bottle. So they do have smaller bottles as well. So if you could get a really tiny bottle and then just put the Lucas oil in this, that would be something that I could reuse, or any of the customers could reuse in the future for that. So that's one thing that I would recommend going for, at least for this type of oil, because this isn't something I can reuse. And then also they did upgrade their clip. So this is the old clip for it, just has a rollover, and then they do have their newest clip that is here, so that it has more of a standard type of clip style for it. It does have a good sweep, gets in the pocket well. So I think that's a really good addition for the knife. So that's one thing that I liked about it quite a bit. So this one has a CPM 154. So there's going to be ideal situations for the steel. So everything has about the same composition, but they're going to have different ways of heat treating. They're going to have a different way of actually grinding the blade. So it might affect some of that information, but there's going to be ideals. So corrosion resistant side is going to be about 35th percentile, and then hardness about 56th. And then edge retention, even compared to some of the super steels out there, is going to be about a 56th percentile for that. So we're going to look at those. But we looked at some of the comparisons for it, but we'll also look at some of the hand sizing. So we're going to look at the adult female hand, how this is going to fit for you, and then we'll also look at adult male hand for that as well. So you can print that out. It's down in the description, and you actually can see as far as how that's going to be in your hand for the knife itself. This one's about 3 ounces, so you can look at that as far as the picture up at the top as well. So that's going to be a 3-ounce blade. So it's just pretty good, especially for something that's going to be the EDC type of knife for you. The pricing on it, MSRP right now, is about $159.95, and then you're going to have a current price about $135.96 as far as kind of a street price for that. And we'll see as far as what the actual pull is for the knife as well. So as far as the opening for it, the one that's going to be a little bit less is going to be the Medford knife. But this one actually, with that detent, is going to be quite a bit more that it has for the detent. So we'll actually see where this sits for the detent for this knife. So 4 pounds, 12 ounces for it. So it's going to be quite a bit of a pull for it to be able to get that, but you're going to have that really crisp break and actually have a really good deployment for it. But you're going to have this one where it's going to be a very low detent for it. So that's about 1 pound 5 ounces. So that's one thing that would have been good for this one, not to go too much into it, but if they had moved just basically the flipper tab up, you could actually get a little bit more acceleration on it, because you're going to have to do most times just either a downward action or just use a wrist to open this one up for it. But this one, as far as the detent side, it does have that detent, so you could actually put it in the upward position and still fire out really well for the blade. So for the pull for that, and then also just a light switch is all that one has for it. There's no other way to open this one, so no push button, no thumb studs, no middle finger flicks, not even a pinch and roll to probably get that out. You probably, yeah, kind of, you can kind of get it out there, but that's one thing. Again, as far as a button lock, I would prefer to be able to depress the button and actually just be able to flick the blade out, but this one is just a light switch. So still enjoyable as far as the blade goes, but going back to that, as far as a button lock, that's one thing that I miss for it. So the blade on it is going to be about a 2.6 inch blade, Warncliffe style for it, and also a hollow grind. So it's a fairly short grind for it. So you're going to have a pretty steep angle going up to that 3 millimeter blade for that. But behind the edge thickness, it's going to be about 5 sheets of paper. So take those 5 sheets out of your printer, and then that's going to be how thick that is roughly behind the edge. So that's going to be about a 21 thousandths for this knife here. And for the secondary bevel, basically the sharp point to the blade is going to be about 35 degrees inclusive, so 17.5 per side. So not too sure what the specification is that is for them on it, but that's what I got as far as that measurement. So basically I'm doing the math on it. So basically solving for the angle. So it's like side, side, side. I did like a calculator thing for that. So that's how I got that measurement for that secondary bevel. So this one, it is a pass-around knife. So thank you very much again for the pound to the group from Hogue. So this one, yeah, it didn't do a sharpness test on it. It did do some cutting, so it actually did work very well for what a cutting tool should do. So I wouldn't fault it for that. And even the steel itself is going to be one that'll perform really well in most situations, and might even perform better than some steels that are not heat treated correctly. So that's where for this knife here, I would probably recommend it as far as this one because it does perform extremely well. It's a sound that it makes as far as the deployment as well as the closure side of it. Going back to kind of like traditionals, you're going to have that good walk and talk type of thing with that, not to blend things too much there. But that one is going to be also for the pocket clip. So the new pocket clip has a lot less resistance, but it also does go in and out of the pocket better. And it also does have a good retention where I'm not worried about losing it. Out of the pocket, this is about 14.3 ounces, not even a pound to pull it out of your pocket for that resistance. So that's taking away the weight of the knife itself. And then the old pocket clip, which is just the rollover, so this is going to have a good retention for it. But this one is about 2 pounds, 8 ounces to actually get it out of your pocket. So again, that's removing the weight of the knife from that calculation or that pull. So that's where it's going to have quite a big difference. You have over a pound difference between this pocket clip and their new pocket clip. So I personally would go with and keep the one that they have with it. They do actually include the other clip if you want it and actually use it, but that does come in the package at least currently for this knife. So check out what Hogue's doing. They have a lot of great things out there as far as the work they're doing. Also, it's a made in the US manufacturer. They back things up just as what Benchmade would do as far as even the sharpening, taking care of the blade, taking care of those things that might happen with it. So those are good things about it. So pick it up if you like it. That's a Hogue X1 Microflip, and that is a solid one for them as far as offering. I was really surprised by it. Seems like that's going to be the response from some as far as the knife. It actually is really solid, great feel in hand. It actually is comfortable. Nothing's really too sharp for it. All the jimping is where it should be, and it actually is a really good tactile feel for it, and it does kind of work well, at least with my hand, for the knife. So if you want to check it out, go over to their website. Currently sold out now, but also will be available on major retailers for the knife. So check that out. Let me know in the comments down below as far as what you think, and thank you again for your time.